What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we're gonna check out my new Soldano SLO100. Let's do it. Alright, hope you guys are doing great out there today. I have an SLO100 sitting beside me and a Gibson Les Paul Custom in my hands, so I'm doing pretty damn good. So pretty much since the start of my channel, that I need to get an SLO100 on this channel as soon as possible. I have never actually played an SLO100. I've never even been in the same room as one until I got this one last week. So this is pretty exciting for me. I really have not spent hardly any time with this amp. I have let other people play it more than I have played it because other people have been excited about it and wanted to play it for themselves. So I've taken it and let a couple people try it out. And today is the first time that I'm really cranking it up with some volume. I played it through a Mesa 212 over the weekend against the Jet City just for fun. And that'll be a shootout that I'll do in the future for sure. And yeah, it does sound really, really good. It definitely lives up to the hype. There's some sort of like sparkle or harmonics going on with the tone of this thing that just makes it sound incredible. It is not the tightest amp in the world, as you can probably hear. That's really my one main complaint with it, is that it's just not super tight, but it's tight enough. It's definitely tight enough. So especially with the right boost, I can really get it exactly where I want it. And yeah, this is an amp that a lot of people never really get to play through, let alone own. So I'm really excited. I'm definitely very fortunate to be able to afford things like this, and not only just this one, but multiple amps of this category. So I'm super excited right now. I'm gonna stop talking. I had the Deadweld duality boost on in front of the amp and no other effects. I was just going straight in with my Gibson Les Paul Custom. I've got a Duncan full shred in the bridge. We're going through the Mesa oversized rectifier cab with the stock V30s in it and an SM57 on that V30, and that is it. Lots of clarity. It's just got this awesome harmonically rich content to it. It's hard to describe. There's only a few amps that I've played that really have that. The Friedman stuff has that, and so does the Omega Granifier that I've played, and so does the Dover to an extent, but it's really noticeable on this amp, especially on big chords. I'm also really loud right now, so I apologize for some of the feedback that you might be hearing through the speakers. But it sounds really, really good in the room. So I'm gonna turn the boost off. We're actually gonna go over to the crunch channel and we're gonna mess around with that real quick. I'm not gonna get too in depth with the crunch channel, but we're gonna put everything to noon and the gain at 9 o'clock, presence in depth at noon. So you guys can at least hear how that sounds, and then I'll go back over to the Overdrive channel, which is what the amp is known for. This amp is the godfather of all the high gain amps that we know and love on the American side of things. It's a godfather, and the Mesa Boogie dual rectifier is almost a direct ripoff of the SLO100, preamp being identical in the early ones. And the 5150 definitely borrows a lot of the topology from the Soldano and is heavily inspired by it. So those are two amps that you hear on almost every modern metal recording out there, one or the other. So those two amps cover a big part of the landscape for the past, 25, almost 30 years now. And this was the predecessor to all of that. So it's really cool to see how it stacks up against those other legendary amps, being it was the forefather of those. So anyways, crunch channel, noon, bright switch off, gain at 9 o'clock. Before we do that, I almost got you, didn't I? If this is your first time here at my channel, what I do is I take awesome high gain amps, overdrive pedals, guitars, pickups, even speaker cabinets, play through them, shoot them out against each other, record the audio with an SM57, and then I give you guys the unprocessed audio so that you get the most real-world demo and the most unprocessed audio sample possible so that you can form your opinions based off of these demos. So if that sounds like something that you're into and you're into E standard thrash riffs and stuff like that, give me a follow, give me a sub. I'd appreciate it. I'd love to have you guys back for the next one. Okay, now I'm gonna play. So even though we're on the crunch channel, it's basically clean at this point. So let's turn that gain up to noon. All right, so even with the gain that high, you're still barely getting any sort of saturation out of it. Let's turn the bright switch on. All right, still not a lot of gain. It's at 3 o'clock now on the crunch channel. All right, so yeah, there's just not a lot of gain on tap on this channel. I'm gonna turn the presence up a little bit. All right, but it's still got that same kind of sound to it, maybe a little bit thicker. It sounds really good, to be honest. Let's kick a boost on in front. Impressive. All right, let's turn that back off and max the gain out. All right, so it's a little woolly with the gain all the way up. So let's add some more presence, a little more mids, a little more highs. That sounds great. All right, so if we dial that back, kick a boost on it up front. That's a great tone. That is a great tone. That's a great punk tone. Wow, that sounds really, really good. What happens if we put the dead weld in the red channel? All right, so it's creating way too much noise on the front end. It's not sounding very good. We're gonna kick this back to the normal mode. But anyways, yeah, that's the crunch channel. Let's go over to the lead channel where this amp really shines. That's where everybody knows it for. We're gonna put everything back to noon real quick. And I'm gonna turn the gain all the way down to 1 on this because it actually has a lot more gain than I thought it was going to. I thought it'd be a little bit more in the hot rodded like 2203 range, but it's pretty gain heavy. So all EQs at noon, gain is at 1 out of 10 on the dial. All right, so this channel immediately sounds fuller. I was wrong about the crunch channel sounding a little bit fatter. This thing sounds super full. All right, so definitely not tight on its own. It kind of reminds me of like a 2203 JCM 800 when you have the gain dialed way up and the low end gets a little bit tubby. But it still has all that top end brightness that goes away when you dial a 2203 up like that. It's pretty interesting. Let's turn the gain up a little bit more. We're up to 4 out of 10. That just has like a top end bark to it. I'm gonna turn the treble down a little bit and the presence up. That gives us a little bit more sizzle and kind of takes out some of the high end harshness. I personally like it better like that. I'm gonna kick that boost on because I am pretty much out of time already. That actually really sucks. I don't even want to touch the EQ, it's just perfect where it's at. Guys, oh, this sounds so good. Unfortunately, I'm out of time for the day, guys. We're definitely gonna see this shot out against the Avenger. We're gonna shoot it out against the 5150, the dual rectifier, and even the Jet City. So you're gonna see this amp a bunch more on my channel. It's a crazy expensive amp. Is it worth it? Honestly, I gotta say probably not for me. It's definitely an awesome amp to have for the moment, but having, you know, over $3,000 into a single amp, like I said, when my Splons and my 5150s do it for me all day long, it just doesn't make sense for me to keep it. But for right now, I'm definitely gonna hang on to it for at least a month or two, get a bunch of mileage out of it, and then we'll see where we sit after that. But this was a lot of fun for me. I'm really happy to share this moment with you guys. This is an amp that I've always wanted to have in my possession, and now I do, and I'm super fortunate, and I'm super happy. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you found this helpful. Not a lot of real high gain, like thrashy type demos out there on YouTube for an amp like this, so I hope that that shed some light on what this amp can do for the type of music that you guys come to my channel for. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please subscribe if you like this video, hit the like button on the way out. Kyle here again. We will definitely see you guys next time.